Hi, I'm Flynn.
Shraya.
Oma.
March.
And I'm your DM, Ethan. Welcome to Venture Forth. Previously, you all had traveled north from the Elven Commune within the Shadow Timberland, where Shraya had called it home for quite some time. You guys knew of a possible danger to the north that you guys were going to go and possibly eradicate. In traveling north, you guys discovered that these guiding trees that glow with magical energy and are keeping the shadows at bay, were starting to dim and wither as you guys traveled further and further north. Traveling through the tree line, after about 7 or 8 of these guiding trees that passed you by, all of the trees just began to completely fade, and the shadows around you began to creep in. You guys continued forward into the shadows, and after a couple minutes of travel, you looked around to discover that there were spider webs around you. Not just any spider webs, but massive spider webs, strings hanging from tree to tree, getting denser and denser as you moved forward. You guys began to sneak forward, hoping not to trip over any of these spider webs, and you discovered yourselves in a nest. You looked up and you saw 3 giant spiders above you, alongside 2 possibly humanoid trapped people. It was possibly the lunch for the spiders. You guys decided that you needed to save these humanoids, not knowing exactly who they were or what they were doing there, but they were all wrapped in sort of cocoons. You guys were able to cut down these, what were soon to be discovered as elves, and slayed all of the spiders that were there in the immediate vicinity. As you guys cut the elves free from their binds, you guys were able to wake them up as they were unconscious and sort of nurse them back to some sort of state of health. And snapping awake, one of them grabbed Kellic by the shoulders and said that you guys need to get back to camp now, as Alothar took something from the goblin camp to the north, and that they're not exactly sure what it was, but he must be a danger. And as he releases Kellic's shoulders and falls back to the ground, still weak from his malnutrition of not eating and being stuck in the spider webs, what would you guys like to do?
We gotta get back to the commune, no?
Yeah, I think we gotta go right now.
Are we just gonna leave them here?
No, I'll go over to them and try and help one of them up.
And they both sort of stumble to their feet. Still very weak, but a lot better with the nourishment that you guys gave them last time. And you can see that color is starting to come back to them. And it might take them a minute or two, but they're slowly getting their bearings once again.
What's your name, soldier? Are you able to stand?
Yeah, I'm able to stand.
Let me help you up there.
I don't really remember much. Ulira. My name is Ulira.
Ulira. Right, well, if you and your comrade here can stand, it'd be a boon to us. We gotta move quickly. I'm afraid Alothar is very much alive and in your camp with whatever he took from the goblins.
All right. And the elf that you're speaking to turns to the other one, who seems to be in a little bit of a worse state. Their eyes sunken in to their head just a little bit more. And Ulira says, Irva, are you good to go? Are you ready? And this other elf, Irva, nods his head and he says, yes, I believe I can make it with you.
Do you guys know any faster way to travel than just walking back through the shadows? I mean, this is your homeland. Do you know a better way to get back to camp?
We don't have any means of travel. This is the furthest we've come from the commune in a long time.
Exactly how long have you been out here?
I'm not sure. I think one of you said this has been 6 days that we've been out here. I cannot remember much.
Shraya, do you think, do you want to fly ahead? get back to the commune as soon as possible.
I will take to the skies, and what I can do...
And I look at the berries that I just created in my hand to help nourish them.
I'm going to see if this will work. I've never tried to do this before, but perhaps I can turn these berries into a beacon.
And as I touch the ground, I attempt to, keyword being attempt, to infuse these berries with the glowing power of growth and renewal and springtime and life into these berries to try to illuminate them so that I may drop them as I fly back toward camp.
Okay.
DM, can I do that?
What spell are you going to use to attempt to do that? Do you have a particular spell in mind?
That's just the druid cantrip, the druid craft, because I'm just trying to get them to glow a little bit, grow a little bit, and harden a little bit, just so they can act as like little beads or marbles of sorts that cast off kind of bioluminescence.
Yeah. I'm going to have you make a nature check at advantage.
Okay, great.
To see how well you can culminate this together.
Oh, well, let's see if I can beat that. Nope, 16.
16. Yeah, so you concentrate on these berries and you pull in some of that familiar light energy that currently isn't around you, but you remember that warm feeling from the guiding trees, and you infuse that same feeling into these berries as they begin to glow just ever so slightly and grow to be about twice their size as these little beacons for you.
I shall now take to the skies. With any luck, our brethren will not be in harm's way or ever doomed from this day forward.
And I... Wait.
Yes?
I don't know. Calic, do you think that you can keep the party safe? I feel like I should try and...
You want to go with Shraya?
I feel like I should. I feel like... I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think?
If you can move quickly, Shraya, still carrying Flynn, then the more to get there quicker, the better.
It will take a significant amount of more effort, but it's a great distance, but I suppose there's a first time for everything. However, I will not be able to drop the berries and carry you at the same time. Flynn, will you be able to drop these as we go?
Of course, yeah. Just hand it to me. I just want to make sure you're safe as well, and I feel like if you go alone, there's more of a chance that you might be hurt.
Shraya, can you fly for that long holding somebody?
It will be very difficult, and I may have to take more stops along the way, but I'm willing to try. It might be good to have that manpower, hobbit power, or halfling plus me power if
I also give a look when he says manpower. I just look over at Flynn. Just assessing.
Yeah, manpower is great. I don't know if you needed to keep going, but sure. If it's not too much of a trouble, I'll go with you. I just want to make sure you're okay, and I feel like you going alone, is risky, especially since we don't really know what's going on at the camp now.
Well, I will try my best to keep you aloft, but there's a chance we will be a little bit slower, but I am willing to try. The haste of the moment requires it.
Do we know how long it takes to get from here to the camp from before?
Yeah, so you guys traveled by foot for about a half an hour last time.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, if it gets to be too much, Shraya, just drop me. And I'll make my way.
I will not leave you in the woods by yourself, little one. If my strength gives out, I suppose we will continue on foot as fast as we can.
Alma, March, you have thoughts on this? Do you feel safe with the three of us just escorting these men back?
I am of the mind that whatever is happening at the camp needs to be addressed as quickly as possible, and if we believe that Shraya and Flynn can get there sooner, then I'm in agreement with this, and we should probably run or walk in a swift manner as quickly as possible back there.
What she said.
It just depends on how quick our quarry can move with us. But that's why I think this is the best course of action.
Oh, Kalik, by the way. Here, and I'll hand you the rope. I know that you're kind of adverse to this, but since I'm going to be gone, I'm going to need someone strong to be able to lead the party, so...
What makes you think he's stronger than us? Look at March.
Yeah, at the mention of strong and Flynn looking at Kalik saying strong, March genuinely does an eye roll and just a look down and look of disgust of how dare you.
And when Alma says that, I'll kind of like look over at her and kind of give her like a whisper and be like, I'm doing it just so, get him to be part of the team.
I can hear you. Flynn, you're standing closer to me than to her.
So will you do it?
I'll take the bloody rope.
Thanks.
Just
You're the
snatch it
best.
out of his hand.
All right, so it sounds like we are splitting up the party into two different groups. So, first off, we are going to follow Shraya and Flynn. So, Shraya, you pick up Flynn by the shoulders. How are you picking him up?
I'm going to actually go around his... I'm going to do one of those holds where I go under and then under his arms and then... well, no, not under his arms. I'm going to actually wrap my arms around his waist.
Gotcha. Okay. So you wrap your arms around his waist and you take to the skies. Flynn, this is that same feeling of... for lack of a better term, being swept off your feet and being taken into the sky. It's a very freeing feeling. But after a couple minutes, Shraya, it's starting to weigh down on you, this extra weight. Flynn isn't a very heavy creature, but you're not very used to carrying something like this. So I'm going to have you make a series of constitution checks, just straight con checks, to see how close you can get to the camp, how far you can fly.
Really quick, I'm going to be dropping those berries that he lit up just like every few seconds as we're flying, just to kind of, if we get off course or if we dive into the darkness a little bit, I'm dropping them just to make sure they know that we're still flying that way and that we're safe because they keep finding the berries. And is there any way that I can help him by like being not moving or staying still so it's easier for him to carry me?
Yeah, so if you want to stay completely still, I will lower the DC for these.
Cool.
And before we take off, I'm just going to say to the group,
Godspeed, and may the wind be at your back.
Mayor's laid upon you.
before taking off. And
Okay.
also, when I first break the tree line, is looking around, is there any way to? Do I see anything in the distance on the horizon that could orient us as we continue?
Yeah, make a perception check for me.
Right. That is a 18.
At 18. So as soon as you break that tree line, you look around and immediately you see amongst the darkness of the trees, the desaturated green on the leaves. You look to the south and you see the bright, vibrant glow of the commune, now very distinct from the trees around it.
That way?
Okay, and as you take off, Shraya, I'm going to have you make your first Constitution check.
Right.
This is going to be a DC 10. to stay in
11.
there. 11. Nice. Okay,
right.
So after the first couple minutes, you feel Flynn beginning to weigh you down, but you're able to muscle through. You haven't been in the earth for very long, so you're able to keep it up. I'm going to have you make another Constitution check.
Okay.
Now the DC is 11.
Oh boy. Okay.
Popping those little good berries. Beep, beep, beep.
That's better. That's an 18.
Nice.
An 18, you began to lose altitude after the first couple minutes, but your resolve kicks back in, and you know that you have to get back to the commune. So you flap your wings and you regain your altitude, and you're fighting through the pain. So I'm gonna have you make one more Constitution check.
Right. Come on. Oh, that's an 8.
That's an 8. That is not going to make it. So you are still, you're a lot closer, but you're still a couple minutes from the commune. And as you begin to descend down into the tree lines, you're able to sort of look around and make another perception check for me.
That is a 16.
A 16. So you're able to look over, and right at the last second, you notice the final remaining guiding trees that had guided you into the forest to the north. You see them almost like a landing strip going back into the commune. So you're able to just steer yourself off to the right and land yourself and Flynn perfectly on that last guiding tree before the forest goes completely dark.
I almost got us there, but I couldn't quite. Thank goodness.
You did great.
Oh, well, thank you. I'd never attempted a tandem flight like this before. Thankfully, the spirits of the trees were able to guide us.
Quick question. Are these berries still good to eat, or should we probably not?
I wouldn't if I were you. They're infused with a lot more growth and richness and living spirits than they were before. I can't speak to what would happen. I've never used them in this way before. If you're willing to take a risk, you can try. I do not know what would happen.
Flynn thinks about it, looks at it, and just chugs one in his mouth, tries to eat it.
Okay. We're gonna find out what happens with that a little bit later. But as you guys begin your or as you guys continue your journey back to the commune by foot, you guys are just about to break through the tree line into the commune before you hear a loud commotion. You hear multiple voices yelling at each other, and you hear screams. And with that, we're going to move back to the rest of the party. As you guys see Flynn and Shraya moving off past the tree line, flying away, I'm going to have all of you guys get into some sort of marching order. What marching order would you guys like to take?
As soon as they take off, as soon as I see them kind of pass out of view by whatever sort of shadows and hang in the air, I'm just going to put the rope in my bag. I just look over at Olmo and March, just give them a nod, and then start walking. If I can carry one of the guys, but that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Awesome. So you sneakily put the rope away. What
not
order
to
are you guys?
March.
Not
sneakily
to
at all.
Yeah. So what order are you guys moving in?
I can lead the way. If you guys can each take one of them and just kind of help them limp back.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll take. Did we were in agreement that Irva seems to be a little bit less spryly right now?
Yeah,
That's the way that it
he's
looks,
worse
yes.
for the wear.
Yeah, I'm gonna just grab Irva and try and stack him. And I'm sure he's gonna say a few things about it, but I'll head up the rear.
Right.
And then we've got Kellic in the middle.
Yeah. I kind of imagine it's
With
sort of a
the
triangle.
Ulira?
Right, with Olma in the front and me and March adjacent.
Okay, perfect. So as you guys begin traveling back, you guys are traveling at a slightly slowed pace because you guys are helping these elves along. But as you guys are traveling back, you don't have the guiding trees that you had coming into the forest. So I'm going to have
Can we see the guiding
the beans?
the beans that have been dropped?
You do. Yes. Okay. You do see those. So I'm going to have one of you guys make a survival check at advantage. Because you have these berries to follow.
Nice.
I can do
Kellic?
that. Or Kellic?
Okay.
I'm pretty good. I've been around. But we could both go. Is that right, DM, or is it just one of us at advantage?
One of you at advantage.
All right. I'll do it. I'll
Go
take
for
the
it.
Spartan. 2 19s.
2 19s.
Nice,
So that's
dude.
Nice.
for a total of 23.
Nice. So
I don't think we're gonna make it.
I don't need a bloody rope. Know my way.
You immediately see all of the berries. Flynn left a really good path for you. They're not too far away, so you can see each one as you're coming. And with that...
This was a really good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, not bad.
It was clearly the strongest member of the group's idea. He's the one who said that Shraya should fly. March is just a little, I'm still a little bitter at that comment, so go on, strongest member of the group. Come on, let's go.
I kind of wince as I'm carrying this guy.
Need help? You shouldn't. You sure you don't want to carry this guy too?
I don't understand why you're taking this out on me. I didn't say anything about it.
Yeah, well, Flynn's not here.
Fair enough.
All right. As you guys are moving along, sort of limping with these elves, I'm going to need a couple of dexterity saving throws from you guys. Olma, you're just doing a straight dex saving throw. March and Kellic, as you are helping the elves, you are going to be doing the dex saving throw at disadvantage.
Yeah, well, that's the one I'm going to take.
All right. What'd you guys get?
10.
4.
16.
4, 16. Nice. Okay. So as you guys are walking along, let me actually see for the elves.
They might help us.
Okay. So as you guys are walking along, you guys take a step, and as you pick up your foot, this is Olma and Kellic. March, you do not have a problem with this. As you guys pick up your foot, you realize your back foot isn't releasing from the ground. And as you look back, you see a vine has wrapped itself around your ankle. And immediately you guys are tugged away off into the tree line. March, you see Kellic and Olma get pulled away off into the tree line along with one of the elves.
Shit. I am going to...
Can I have a reaction?
Sure, what's your reaction?
I just want to... Like, it's on me, right? I mean, I just want to throw a firebolt at it. Like, I'm screaming, so it's, like, shocks me, and I just, like, release... like, just fire comes out of me.
Yeah, sure. So as you're being pulled away... you're able to cast that. So you said it's a firebolt?
Yes.
So is that going to be an attack roll?
It is.
Okay, so why don't you make that attack roll?
That's a 10.
That's a 10. As you are squirming around, this thing is whipping back and forth. You are not able to land a shot on this vine that is carrying you away. And you are dragged about 50 feet through the forest until you are finally met with Kellic in this massive, just mass of vines and roots in the ground. It seems to be this pit of, it looks like snakes in the way that it moves. All of this huge pit.
Spiders, snakes. I don't like this forest at all.
And with that, as you guys are pulled into this pit, I am going to give you guys a little bit of a map here. Just to sort of demonstrate exactly what you guys are in for.
No.
Okay, so as you guys are being pulled in, March, you run up and you see again this massive pit, and you also see Olma and you see Kellic in the process of being dragged into the center of this pit. As you and the other elf approach. Olma and Kellic, you guys are just being bound and dragged to the center of this pit. Neither of you are taking damage at the moment, but you guys are moving towards the center.
Can I take a stab at the vine pulling me with my sickle?
Yeah, for sure. Make an attack roll.
That's not good. It's a 6.
That's a 6.
Yeah.
You take a stab, but all of these vines and roots that are encompassing your form, you accidentally hit the wrong one. You don't hit something vital to what's taking you.
Ah! Damn!
I'm gonna have had a slight moment of major WTF processing what I just witnessed, and my immediate reaction is to put down Irva and kind of just look at him and be like, "You're seeing this, right? Like, I have to put you down. I have to get my party members."
I understand. Go do what you need to do. Yes, I can stay here.
You stay here and scream my name, March, scream it very loudly if a vine happens to attack you or anything to that nature, okay?
Trust me, I will.
DM,
Okay.
Are we in initiative order or
As
can
March
we
is
react?
running up, you
Okay.
guys are going to go into initiative.
Snap.
So I'm going to have everyone roll initiative. Okay. If I can get that initiative from Kellic.
7.
Change your
7?
dice?
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
changed mine.
Olma, what's your initiative?
18.
I got 2 19s right off the bat. You know?
And March.
12.
Okay, so top of the round, Olma. You are getting sucked into the center of this thing, not taking any damage, but still moving.
So I bring my arms around myself and cover my eyes, and I just let out like a ah! And from that, you see a circle around me shoot out, and within 5 feet, there's these spectral blades that start sweeping around me.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a dexterity saving throw.
A dexterity saving throw.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
These vines actually do not even roll for dexterity saving throws. You automatically hit.
And it's only
Nice.
within 5 feet of me, so Kellic should be outside of that. Maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, both Kellic and the elf are outside of that.
Cool. Because we're on different vines.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so it's just a hit.
Yeah, just a hit. So roll your damage.
That is a 4 of force damage.
4 points of force damage. Nice.
4
So
points.
as this force damage is just obliterating the vines around you, a 5-foot area around you begins to open up. But the vines begin to slowly creep back in. Not very fast, but you have 5 feet that you can work with here.
And I'm no longer like, it's not pulling me anymore.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the vines around you completely release, and you have 5 feet of space all around.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay. Kellic? And that's my turn.
Okay. Next up in the initiative is March.
For my better understanding, if I were to run up to this pit, can I visually tell where is a safe, quote unquote, area for me to be to get as close as possible to the pit without running the risk of me getting dragged in with everybody else?
You can definitely see where the vines sort of begin. It's a pretty clear line. And all 3 of them that have been pulled in are just about 10 feet into beyond that line.
Okay. So then I would like to get up to what is considered the safe line.
Okay.
Where I feel comfortable enough knowing that I'm not going to get sucked in myself, but also close enough that I can possibly throw... I think I'm going to have to throw a javelin here.
Okay.
'Cause I don't-
So would you like, how close would you like to be? Would you like to be right up on it, 5 feet?
I would prefer to be right up on it 5 feet, but I also, yeah. I also don't want to, be 5 feet and then be in a situation where it just comes and swallows me whole. But can I get within 5 feet of it?
Yeah. So you are currently within 5 feet.
Then I'm going to use my Warhammer.
Okay.
And I'm just going
Nice.
to try and take a swing at it. I could see that, or am I able to see that Olma was able to clear at least a slight path in any way?
Yeah, you're able to see that the vines around her have receded, but
Okay.
they're slowly moving back in.
Okay, then since is Oma or Kalik closest to me now?
You're about equidistant from both of them. If you want to, use 15 feet of your movement to get to the edge. If you want to move closer to either of them, you are definitely able to do that.
Am I able to call to either one of them before I make a full decision to gauge how they're doing?
Yeah, you can shout out as a free action.
Okay. Alma, are you okay? What's going on?
I think I'm okay.
Was pretty much what I was trying to... Honestly, best thing that's happened to me in weeks. And with that, March is going to go, okay, and immediately shimmy on closer a little bit to Kalik because Kalik is very clearly handling this really well.
Okay, so yeah, you sidestep over.
I'm going to take my warhammer just to the vines in front of me. Do I have a visual in any way on Kalik?
Yes, you can see his head and his arms and a bit of his torso protruding out from the top of these vines, but it seems like his lower half is just being sucked in.
Okay. Then I'm just going to take my warhammer to it.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Oh, 23.
Yeah, 23 definitely hits. So yeah, roll your damage.
8. Do I know how to do this? 11
points of damage. Nice. So you are able to clear the 5-foot space in front of you, in between you and Kalik, but the vines that are still encompassing Kalik, they're still there. You haven't cleared those yet, but there is a path to him.
Okay, so essentially we're in a situation where for Alma, there's a path 5 feet in front of her and then more vines to the outside, and then it's literally reverse for Kalik, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, then I'm going to just stand there and hold. I'm basically kind of feeling like I'm looking, Alma, Kalik, and that's where I'm at.
Okay. Nice. With that, next up is Kalik. What would you like to do?
You don't want me yet. I know that. And I'll cast Toll the Dead on the vines at my feet. And I'll smack my hand against it and try and expel the essence of it. Which is a wisdom saving throw if it does that.
Nice. Yeah, it does not do saving throws, so you automatically hit.
Nice. Good.
Nice.
Any sort of saving throw is an automatic hit for this.
All right, that's 4 points of necrotic.
4 points of necrotic. Nice. So you are able to expel the vines from around you as they are completely obliterated, and you can see the other vines that were reaching out towards you pull back in almost a reactionary motion.
The ones that are burned by it just dissipate into dust as they wither rapidly.
Nice. Okay, so that was your action.
Yeah, I'll look over to March, just kind of like with horror on my face, and then that's. Can I move? Can I use my movement, or is it expend?
Yeah, for sure. So you are, as you clear the vines from around you, you are prone on the ground as the vines just leave you and sort of drop you there. You don't have any vines within 5 feet around you, and you also have a 5-foot path that March cleared for you in front of you.
But Olira is adjacent to me and still encompassed by the vines. Is that right?
That is correct.
I will. I've got range. Yeah, I'm gonna clear a gap if I can. Get up and get as far away as I can from the vines, at least behind Marge.
Okay. So
maybe just that one. Yeah, just above her there.
Yeah. So that's 15 feet of your movement. That's going to be all of your movement. Do you have a bonus action?
I do not.
Okay. So that is going to be your turn. Next up in the initiative is going to be Ulira. So he is going to he has no weapons. He's going to attempt to just swipe away at these things with his hands. And that is going to be a 3. So he does not do that. He tries to clear all of the vines, but every vine and every root that he clears, one just immediately takes its place, and he's not able to make any headway. And then next up, so you all see around you the vines that were cleared before immediately begin to creep back into the areas that were previously there. They completely close back in on Olma. So Olma, I'm going to have you make another dexterity saving throw.
15.
15. So you are able to just dodge out of the way out of all of these vines. Mm-hmm. You're still sort of surrounded by them, but you are not caught by any of them. And then the path that was cleared to Ulira completely closes back up and begins to suck him further into the center. Just by 5 feet. And that is going to be the end of the vine's turns. So next up, top of the order is Olma.
Okay. So Olma, as the vines start to come back in, she's pulling her arms in tighter and tighter and tighter. March! It's so dark in here. Oh! And she brings both of her hands up in front of her. And her thumbs are touching. And she faces kind of in the direction she heard March's voice, but also where she heard Kellic scream. So in that space between Ulira and the exit, she unleashes a cone of fire from her hands, from the point where her thumbs touch, out.
Okay, how big is that cone?
15 feet.
A 15-foot cone. All right. That's a saving throw, correct? Or is that an attack roll?
It's a saving throw, yeah.
Okay, nice. So, it automatically takes the damage. So what's the damage?
3d6.
Yeah.
So let's find out my... Ugh, terrible. 6.
6?
6 points.
Okay, and as the fire emanates from your hands, it bursts forward into that 15-foot cone, and you can see the vines, again, pull back in a reactionary motion, and the vines that you did manage to light on fire seem to take a little bit of extra damage as the fire jumps from vine to vine and root to root, sort of passing the fire along as they go. You clear a 15-foot path from Ulira to the outside, towards pretty much where March is on the outside. He is still completely encompassed in these vines, but there is a 15-foot path to get to him.
Okay, I'm gonna run towards him. And try to help, you know?
Okay. Okay, so you're coming right up on him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're able to get right next to him.
So that I can drag him out. I mean, I can't save the rest of my movement until he's unleashed, right? Like if he gets, I should still have 15 feet of movement. Is it possible? I know you can save an action. I don't know if I can save that movement for once he's released.
You can only have a held action, okay. Unfortunately. Okay, is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
Okay, next up is March. March, in front of you, a 15-foot section of this vine has completely cleared away, and you can see Olma has just run up on this elf.
So there's a clear, just so I have an understanding, there's a clear path basically from myself to Lyra, and Olma's standing in the center of it. She's fine?
Yes, she is fine. You can see her, she's trying to gauge where the vines are, and you can see her sort of contemplating how to get him out, but she is unable to do anything at the moment.
Okay. I'm gonna run in. I would like to run in. My initial reaction is to kind of just look at Olma. Are you good? Are you good? What's going on? You okay?
I want to get out of here.
Well, we got to get this guy out. He's already entrapped with a spider. So I'm gonna try and chop him down. Okay?
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna just take my warhammer and try and chop him. Oh, something fancy just happened.
Yeah, so I just sort of outlined where
Got
the vines have receded. So there's still that 15-foot cone as you are running up right next to Olma, and you begin to hack. So make a attack roll for me.
Okay. Yeah, I essentially want to try and chop this dude out. Math is hard. 23.
Yeah, 23 definitely hits. Roll your damage.
8.
8 points of damage. Okay. So as you swing your warhammer, there is one sort of central vine that has made its way all the way and wrapped itself multiple times around him, and you're able to find the base of that vine and hack away at the beginning of it. As you clear the base of it, the rest of it falls limp away around him, and he is now freed.
Nice.
Are you okay? Can we, I don't know, not be in this area right now?
Yes, please help.
Can I just? Is he prone or on the ground, or is he completely free now?
Yes, he is prone.
Oh. Okay. Olma, what do we do? Okay. I don't really have anything else to do other than say sorry, dude. I wish I had a more eloquent answer to this, but I don't.
But you got him out, right?
Yeah,
I got him out,
he's
but
freed
he's
for now.
prone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
free,
I mean-
but
We'll
yeah,
get
he's still
him.
prone.
He can get up later.
Yeah, he might be able to get up
Run
on his
out.
turn and
Yeah.
run
On
out.
his turn, yep.
I just don't want to run out without him, basically.
Mm.
I would like to maybe potentially just kind of turn to him and just say, get out of here, go to Kalek. I'm gonna hopefully make sure this guy gets up.
Okay. Next up is Kellic. So what would you like to do as you are hanging out outside of these vines?
Can I see how the vines are still very much alive in the center of it, or?
Very much so, yes.
All right, they're writhing and such. Well, I'm just going to blast them then. I'm just going to ex-coco and toll the dead once more on them. Are they considered to have been to have taken damage, or I'm assuming they don't really have HP exactly, or how does it work?
Yeah, I'll consider this as having taken damage. Obviously,
Okay.
you guys have been hitting this thing.
Sure.
For sure.
Nice. So that's 9 points of necrotic damage.
9 points of necrotic damage.
Nice.
Where are you aiming that at?
Just the center of its mass. Just going
Okay,
to try
the
to
center of
burn
its
it out
mass.
from the inside.
Okay. All right. You can see the entire thing sort of twitches a little bit in the moment, and then immediately goes back to its normal writhing motion.
I don't understand what's going on here. I sort of I'm just taking a look around the trees around us and just got a general sense of what manner of cursed place this is.
Okay.
And that's the rest
Are
of my
you
turn.
attempting to make any sort of insight or perception or arcana check, or are you just
I would like
looking
to
around?
see if I can determine if this is, what kind of presence this is, if it's an unholy presence, if it has anything to do with, I don't know, demons or a possession, I guess.
Okay, so your aim is more demon possession rather than religious?
I guess I would be curious. Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
Not to over meta your question there, but my main interest is to know whether or not like Eldoria has anything to do with this.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'll let you either roll an Arcana or a Religion check, however you think Helic would take that.
Okay. That's for a religion check, that would be 18.
An 18. This mass of vines seems to be a pollution of the magic around you. The shadows seem to be corrupting the life around you, and this seems to be a byproduct of that.
So it's in fact just like it was with the spiders. Right. All right. I will make a note of that in my head.
Okay. Next up is Ulira. So he is going to use 15 feet of his movement to stand up. And at the moment, he doesn't have anywhere that he can run to. Ulma and March are sort of blocking his path. So he's going to try and make a dexterity check to see if he can maneuver out of here. And that's going to be a 16. So he is able to actually maneuver around Ulma. It's going to use half of his movement. But without touching any of the vines, he's sort of able to get into this area that's been cleared away by Ulma's fire blast.
Nice, get out of there, buddy.
And with that, next up, the vines are taking their turn. So they are going to creep back in 5 feet in every direction that has been blasted away. So I'm going to have Ulma, March, and Ulira all make dexterity saving throws.
What was the other elf's name?
Irva.
Ulira and Irva.
Gotcha.
Okay. Ulma, what was that dex saving?
14.
14? March?
Same.
Okay, you guys both are able to avoid these vines, but Ulira is not a very dexterous person, and you see a vine grabs back onto him, pulls him back to the ground, and restrains him. He does not move at all, but he is restrained.
No.
Just face plants.
Unlucky.
Come on, Lyra, help us out a little.
Ulma, you see this happening. You're sort of avoiding these vines around you. What would you like to do?
Can I still see the exit? Can I still see the way out? Like path forward?
Yes. Yeah, you can see the exit is clear in front of you.
Come on, guys, let's go! And I'm gonna run. Run towards Kalik.
Okay. So you are going to...
I will hold an action to... Beyond that, I will hold an action to see if I need to assist Ulira to get out.
Okay. Nice. Okay, next up is March. You've got Ulira right next to you, just got enveloped in the vines again. What would you like to do?
If I attempt to chop at this, is he going to be free and able to potentially hop up and do something with his life other than clearly nothing? Or he's like, no matter what I do, he's just in a position of...
He's sort of flailing at this moment. He's trying to get up. You can see he's planting his hand on the ground and trying to push himself up, but the vines at the moment are stronger than him, so they keep dragging him back down. So he's still trying to get out.
Are there any physically wrapped around him? Like
yes,
around his legs or around any...
Yes, there's one main one wrapped around his legs, and then there is just a couple smaller ones wrapped around both of his arms.
I'd like to, again, try and chop at the one close to his legs without hitting his legs.
Okay, make an attack roll. And actually make that attack roll at advantage for me, because these vines have just started to envelop him, so they aren't as dense as they would normally be.
Nice.
Okay. Well, 24.
Yeah, okay, a 24 hits.
God damn.
Roll the damage for me.
7.
7 points of damage. Nice. So again, you find you're getting to be just an expert landscaper at this point. You find the root of that vine and you chop right at it. And again, the rest of the vine around his legs completely goes limp, and the vines at his arms are small enough to where he can break out of those easily enough just as he's moving.
Heck yeah.
And he's still on the ground, or?
He is prone, but he is completely free. And you can see he's just starting to sort of roll over in an attempt to get to his feet to dash out.
Okay, I would like to leave this area, kind of just almost be directly in front of him on the other side, and just reach down and hold out my hand, waiting for him to get him out. And that's going to be just me.
Okay. Kalik, you see that Ulira has just been freed from these vines.
Right. I'm just going to keep her, purify this corruption in the cleansing flame of the plains. And I'm going to just toll the dead once more. On the center of the thing, that's 12 points of necrotic damage.
12 points of necrotic damage.
Jeez.
Okay. Now you see that all of the area that had been previously cleared by Olma recedes another 5 feet back. So now the vines that were immediately next to the elf have completely cleared back, giving him an additional 5 feet to move around.
Good. And that's my turn.
Nice.
Okay. So Ulira jumps to his feet, uses half of his movement, and just as fast as he can, runs out and ends up right next to Kalik. And as you guys, as he escapes, not particularly, no. And as he finally escapes the vines and meets you guys just outside of the radius, you can see over the next couple of seconds the vines begin to move back into their normal place. But luckily, none of you guys are there, and we are now out of initiative.
Yes.
Guys,
Let's go. Let's get the hell out of here.
I don't like plants.
Yeah, I hate forests. I just realized that. I don't want to live in one. I don't want to be around one. Let's get the hell out of here.
Can kind of see why James didn't want to stay here very long.
Yeah.
You know?
Where's Urva? Urva, are you okay?
Yeah. That was amazing.
What part of that was amazing? Plants are alive? They're trying to eat us?
No, not that part. That part was terrible. The part where you guys were fighting back, that was spectacular.
I would like to turn to Ulira and hand him a dagger, one of my daggers, and just say, maybe you need this.
Normally I would say no, but with the events of the last couple days, I will gladly take it.
Yeah.
And he grabs it from your hand and puts it into his belt.
Have you, either one of you, have you seen this? Is this something that you've encountered before?
Can we talk and walk?
Let's not dilly-dally near the corrupted vines.
No. We can have this conversation while we walk. I'm just very curious. Actually, we should run. I'm down with running, if anyone else is, to be quite honest. But while we do that, please explain. Have you seen this before you got eaten by a spider?
And as you guys begin to move out, Ulira turns to Urva and goes, "Are you good to run?" And the other one goes, "Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm good." And they begin running just alongside you.
That'll put a pep in your step.
Nothing like almost being eaten by vines to make you want to run.
As you guys begin to go back towards the path that you guys were on, Ulira goes, "No, we'd never seen anything like this. This is very new to us." And as he finishes that statement, you guys see the continuation of the berries and the first of the remaining guiding trees that had led you guys into the forest with the subtle glow, now a little bit dimmer, but still that protective aura is up. So with that, we are going to move back to Shraya and Flynn. As you guys broke the tree line, you guys heard a commotion, shouting among different members of the commune. You heard screams. And as you guys burst through the tree line, you see everyone is congregated in the temple in the center. And there seems to be discussion and people fighting and throwing accusations at each other and screaming about what to do. As you guys approach, what would you guys like to do?
I drop one of those good berries in my mouth and chew, chew, chew. It's probably the last one, so I just do.
Yeah, you take that, and at this point, you feel the full effect of a normal goodberry.
Cool. And so that gives me like a hit point, right? Is that how they work?
Yeah, so Cameron, could you let him know what that does?
Yeah, it's basically, it actually doesn't matter how many of them you eat. It basically gives you regain a hit point from partaking.
Hey, I was down 2, so now I'm only down 1, so risk it for the heal. Awesome. So I like chew. Does it taste? What does it taste like?
It's a little bit warmer, and it has like an even more it's pungent. Like you bite into it, and it like flares into your nose a little bit, and it's also a little bit more sour. So it's just stronger than what your usual berry would be.
Well, I mean, I feel better, but geez, these things don't taste the greatest. They're really sour. And I guess I look up and hear the screaming. Like, oh right.
Yeah.
And what do we see?
As you finally break the tree line and come into the commune itself, you feel yourself once again warmed by that protective light of the trees, but that warmth is immediately dimmed by the sight of everyone fighting and arguing among themselves. It doesn't seem to be a physical conflict, but people are yelling at each other. You can see a bulk of the elves who live in this commune are congregated on the northeastern corner of this stone temple, and you can see that they're all looking and pointing at the opposite side of the temple, pointing at the elf that is on the ground and shivering and continuing to sort of convulse. You see Alothar there, who is now just completely just spasms everywhere. And you can see that multiple elves are arguing over what they should do. And you hear from one corner, you hear, "We should give him back to the trees. He needs to go back to the shadows." And you hear another one saying, "No, we have to help. There must be some way that we can help him." And you can see at this point, Farlane jumps up on the meditation stone that is in the center of this temple, and he says, "Everyone, we must give him back to the shadows. He is no longer one of us, and he is a danger to us all. We have to cast him out." And this is what you hear as you approach.
And I say to Flynn under my breath,
"This was once a place of harmony, and now it's descended into chaos and disarray. We must find a way to bring back order."
And I'm gonna just at a little bit of a bigger pace, I'm gonna charge toward the group of arguing elves.
I will. Flynn follows for sure. He nods and kind of just like he's following Shraya's lead just because he knows this is his place. But he's with.
And
him.
I'm gonna scream
For
out,
sure.
"Farlane, what ails this man?
And Farlane looks to you,
This elf."
and he says, Shraya and Flynn are here. They will agree with me. Flynn, as a monster hunter, you know that we have to cast this man out. He is dangerous to us all. We have no way of defending ourselves, so we must take him and strike first before he has a chance to take us.
If he's directing to me, I look at the guy, and does he look like a monster? He just looks like he's sick, right?
You look at him. Make a medicine check for me.
Sure. All right. First roll. Let's see. +2. Okay. Oh, okay. So 5. What does a 5 tell me?
5.
Yeah.
Shraya, are you looking at him as well?
I'm gonna examine him in a similar way.
Okay, you can do that as well.
Doesn't tell you nothing.
Doesn't tell you nothing.
Try it.
24 on that. Yeah.
24. So Flynn, you see that he's spasming more than he was before.
Okay.
The shivers and the cold sweats have seemed to amplify. Shraya, you look over and you you both see actually that he's still clutching at his chest. He's got his hands sort of wrapped around his chest, just as he had before when you guys first got to the camp. But Shraya, you look over and you see his face is beginning to elongate. Not very much, but just a very subtle elongation near his mouth and his nose. And you can see over his right arm, there's just a small tuft of orange and reddish fur that's beginning to accumulate on his right arm as he begins to twitch and move around.
Can we go to the vines? Can we just take the vines?
Yeah, let's just stay there. Let's just create a house there.
Does he look like he's clutching something in his hands? Or is it just he's like clutching his chest like he's holding his shirt?
Make a perception check for me.
So much no to this.
Lot better. That is perception 21 total.
21. He's definitely clutching something in his hands. As he's moving around and writhing, one of his hands slips away, and you just catch a slight gold glimmer in his hands. Before he brings it back and continues to clutch at his chest.
I'll run up because the guy yelled out to me that we should kill this man or send him back to the shadows. And I'll run up and I'll try and I notice that he's holding on to something and I'll try and remove his. Does it look like maybe? I don't know. I'll try and maybe remove his hands from it because maybe I think that it's part of it. And as I'm doing that, I'm like, he's no monster yet. Shraya, help!
And then I look down and I curious as to what Flynn is talking about.
We can still save him. He's not doomed to this land. We must help him. We must try. And I'm like trying to calm him down, trying to hold him down and keep him from shivering.
Okay. Flynn, I'm going to have you make a strength check. Just a straight strength check to see if you can pin this guy.
Yeah, strength. Okay. Strength. Yeah, strength.
Strength. Yep.
8.
8.
Whoa!
Yeah, he's moving around. At one point, his shoulder sort of twitches and hits you in the chest, and you're knocked back. You don't take any damage, but you're just sort of knocked back onto your butt. And at this point, Farlane walks up to the both of you, and he attempts to grab at Flynn's sword as he walks up.
Shit.
So, Flynn, I'm going to have you make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Better at those. Okay.
You have to beat a 13.
Roll a 1. Halfling. A 10.
A
10.
Second one.
He walks up and immediately takes the sword from your side and takes it out and raises it above his head. And he says, "If you will not cast him to the shadows, I will take care of him right now." And he walks up and he begins to put the sword into this guy's face.
When he gets my sword, can I yell out to Shraya? Shraya!
Do I have time to try to stop his hand?
Yes,
Okay,
you definitely
do that. With a
Wait! Maybe I can save him.
But obviously the first thing I need to do is try to keep him from plunging this sword into the guy.
Yeah, okay. So are you doing that physically or are you just saying wait?
I'm going to say wait, and I'm going to try to really rapid fire extend my wing out into Farlane to try to knock him off balance.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So do you think the primary thing that you're doing right now is trying to convince him or trying to knock him off balance? Okay, then make an attack roll for me.
Crit fail.
No!
Crit fail.
Halfling luck.
I wish.
He ducks out of the way, but it was enough for him to notice that you were trying to get at him, and he now points the sword at you, and you can see his hand is shaking, and as he's trembling, and he says, "If I have to get through you to protect my commune and my people, I will."
Farlane, there are things.
Are we there yet?
There are things at work here that.
You guys are just about to
There are
approach.
things at work here that I don't think we fully understand.
And I, remembering what I have wedged between one of my wings, I go and look for that crystal I had seen before in our last encounter with this energy,
no.
and I take it out and re-examine it again.
And as he's looking at it, when he says that I'm like, I'll have to get through you. Flynn gets up and stands in front of Shraya and says, and you have to get through me too. And he looks up at him, but he's trying to be really menacing, but he's 3 feet tall, and he's like short of breath, but he's like staring at this guy intently.
Flynn, make an intimidation check for me.
You got it.
And right as this is happening, the rest of you guys are going to be bursting through the tree line. You guys come through the tree line and see Farlane holding Flynn's sword, pointing towards Shraya and Flynn. You guys see the same elf Alothar laying on the ground again, twitching uncontrollably. But first, I'm going to get that intimidation check.
Yeah, so I'm like in front of them, and I rolled a 15.
15. He takes a couple steps back. He moves 5 feet away from you, still holding the sword towards you and trembling.
DM, can I rush over to Alothar?
Yes, you are all able to run over as he's taking a couple steps back away from Flynn.
As I do that, I'm sort of turning to Uliura and saying, "You said he took something, right? He took something from the goblin."
I would like to try and be pushing the crowd back away to give space. So I'm trying to just say, move back, give him space. We don't know what's going to happen here, guys. And I'm just trying to push and push and push. And I like nod to March to try and help me get the crowd kind of back.
Okay. One of you guys can make a either persuasion or intimidation.
Me.
And if the other one is helping, then I will let you do that at advantage.
I will do it.
Go for
Just
it.
imagine this little little kid just like pushing on
21.
someone's knees.
At their leg,
They're
yeah.
not really moving, and then March steps in behind, and then they start moving back.
That's exactly what I was going.
Yeah.
I was going to kind of jump in and sort of immediately just sort of use my towering height to sort of stand up and be as elongated and as tall as humanly possible, and I don't necessarily want to say anything, but I want to just make sure that Alma's okay before I'm going to turn to Flynn and Shraya, but I'll let Alma finish her roll first before I do that.
21.
21. You see there were a couple of elves that were about to step forward, possibly to help Farlane. But as soon as you step in, they all put their hands up and they back away, moving off back into the corner of the temple.
Good. Cross my arms.
Okay.
I would like to walk up and just, like, how far away, I guess, from the crowd and is, like, Farlane from the crowd? Like, what is that distance looking like?
They're pretty much on the opposite side of the temple. The temple is like a big circle. So the crowd is off in one corner, and Farlane and the rest of you guys are in the other corner, about, I'd say 50 to 60 feet away.
Okay.
Safe distance.
Then I'm going to basically just without moving or leaving Alma to do crowd control by herself, my reaction is just to, and as aggressive of a voice as I can, go, Farlane, what are you doing?
I am protecting my people. And he immediately whips the sword over towards you as you approach.
If I get enough of a confirmation from Uliura that there was something taken from the goblins, I think that's what he said when we pulled him out of the spiders thing at first, then I'm going to try and see if Alothar has something on him.
Yeah, he says, he took something. We just saw him with an object. I couldn't get a good look at it.
I'm going to like basically pounce on Alothar and be like, I made you a promise, lad. I made you a promise. And I'm just going to try and find something on him of perverse nature, of darkness.
Okay, make an investigation check.
And while he's doing that, I'm just going to look at Farlane and just say, give him a moment. Calic's trying to help you. You don't need to go down this path. Give us a moment.
He still just has the sword trained on you. He doesn't say anything, but he is trembling.
14.
14. You are able to sort of wrestle him around, and you see his hand slip again, and you see just a little sliver of gold in his hand, but then he clutches it back again and wrestles you away.
Can I try to pull it from him. Take it from him.
Yeah. Make just a straight strength check.
Does anybody else see that he has that, or is it only Kalec?
Or can anybody help him grapple
Well, right
You
now,
can definitely get some assistance if anyone wants to go over and help.
I say, he has something of darkness. As I try to do this. Oh, and I will.
Is anyone helping? I'm too far away.
Where's March now?
I was
Are you up
sort
next
of like
to?
backing away from where Alma was, but also kind of having this looking at Farlane type of thing. And I would like to, if I can, go over and help out Kalec.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, March. Then you can either give him advantage or you can roll separately if you would like for that strength check.
I can do a strength check. No.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it.
I mean, guys,
Go for it.
Caleb is the strongest member, so
I mean, he is the strongest party member.
It's true.
So
You are
So
the
maybe you should do it
strongest
too.
one. I would hate to take that away from you.
March,
Kalec.
I really think you should take it on.
What are we rolling?
Strength check.
Strength check. So you're adding whatever your strength modifier is.
Okay. That's 18.
18.
That's a 4 for me. So as I'm like
Okay.
pulling at him, the spider bite in my abdomen just like opens up further.
oh god.
As you guys wrestle, March, you're able to pry his fingers open away from this. And as it drops to the ground out of his hand, you see it is about a 5-inch golden shard. It seems to be some sort of piece of worked gold as it falls to the ground. And he immediately clutches back to his chest and begins twitching again.
Kalec, what is that? What is this?
I don't know. There's something. The darkness of the forest, it can seep into things. Those vines were not always that way when we found them.
I don't think any of us should physically touch this right now.
Can I tell what the shard is? Yeah.
Make an Arcana check for me.
Oh, it's 14.
14. So this definitely is emanating some intense magic energy. But you look, it looks like a shard of gold. Almost like a dagger, but you can see at the very base of it, it seems to have been broken off from something. It seems to be a piece of something larger. As you can see, the gold for the most part is like, worked and hammered into place, whereas at the base there's sort of like a rougher texture where it seems to have been broken from something.
Does it look like the bladed end of a dagger? Like it's pulled from the hilt or something?
It looks sharp at the top. It could definitely be used as a dagger, or it could be from a dagger, but you don't know exactly where this is from.
DM, at this point, when I pulled out the crystal that I'd been keeping with me, has it changed any? Do I look at it? I examine it? Does it look the same as it looked before?
You can make an Arcana check for me.
Sure. Okay, no help. 16.
Nice.
16. It doesn't seem to have changed in any way. You look into it, and there's just a little bit of like this swirling, glowing energy on the inside, but it's swirling in the same exact way from when you first picked it up. It seems to still be dormant for the most part.
All right, I'm going to stow it back. And do I see the gold thing fall as well? Like, would that catch my eye?
Yeah, everyone. It is now in the view of everyone as this gold shard is on the ground.
And the guy visibly seems to be calming down, you said?
His shakes are still there, but it's slightly lessened. It's not as much these big spasms. Now it's going back to sort of the shaking and the cold sweats that you had seen previously.
I'm just trained on Farlane with my sword. I'm just watching.
Did we all notice that that he had that elongated start, or was that just Shraya who had noticed that?
At this point, as he's moving around and beginning to calm down a little bit, you all notice this elongated mouth and nose and this tuft of orangish red hair on his shoulder.
Is it starting to recede?
Can we tell?
Yeah.
Is it progressing or regressing?
Read my mind, Alma.
It doesn't seem to be changing in either way.
I'll turn to Farlane. Do you have any restorative magics in this temple? Does your god have any power left to aid this man? I don't have anything I can do, but somebody here certainly must have something.
Look at him. You think that he can be saved? And he points the sword over towards you, moving it away from March.
I cast but a simple spell. A spell just to give him a little bit of strength to resist the darkness of this place, and he was able to form thoughts, was able to express his fear. We should take him somewhere. Somewhere
Look at him.
Somewhere more powerful.
He is too far gone. Look at him.
Can I can I just take a really deep look at Farlane and see if he knows more than he's letting on?
Yeah, make an insight check.
Nice.
Just tell us what you rolled.
Was it
So
low?
it went well.
It's a 6. That's a 6. Oh no! I didn't roll my well, I used a spell and I didn't roll my wild magic.
Okay. We will take that and we will roll twice next time.
Okay,
Oh,
that's fair. Yep, sorry guys.
So,
That was a 6
yeah,
for
Oma,
insight.
you're still sort of holding back the crowd over
I
there,
am,
right?
mhm.
You've got that distance in between you. You can't really pick up on his facial expressions from that distance.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to sort of kind of kick this gold shard piece, but make sure that it's not without, I just want only my boot to touch it, but I want to make sure that it is directly to the left of my left boot and that I have eyesight on it and that nobody's about to touch it. And if anybody wants to touch it, they're going to have to come through me. And I want to look at Farlane as I sort of rip off a quick piece of just my top and throw it over the top of this gold piece of whatever the heck we might figure out what it is, and just look at Farlane. Is it your natural inclination to simply just kill anything, even if you think it's too far gone, you don't believe you can save? There's already been enough death and disappearances within your town, and now you're saying that instead of trying to figure out and help
we can't
save,
have any more. That is why I am doing this, is we have lost too many. And it is my duty to protect who is remaining.
As I see the gold shard, my eyes have not drifted anywhere but from the gold shard since it's been dropped on the ground. So...
Okay. So, yeah, you saw that March sort of dropped a piece of cloth over it to hide it.
Flynn looks up at Farlane and kind of just holding his hands out still, like protecting his party, even though he's only 3 feet tall. He's looking up at him and he says, well, we're going to try anything we can do to protect him. Are you willing to kill all 5 of us? Do you think you can?
I don't know if I can, but I'm willing to.
we're on your side, Farlane. We just want to try and help. And if we feel that, if Kalik feels, or if Shraya feels, if we feel that he is beyond saving, then we'll get to that discussion when we get there. But let us try and help this man. We're on your side. We want to help your town. If we didn't, we wouldn't have just gone off into the woods. And by the way, did you even notice you had 2 people that you were missing back? Did you see Lyra and Irva? Or were you too busy trying to kill one of your own members?
Make a either persuasion or intimidation check for that. And since everyone's sort of helping you out on this, you can make it at advantage. Olma, I'm going to have you make a perception check for me.
Nice.
That is 17.
10.
All right, Olma, what was that?
10.
10? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, March, you see that Farlane begins to back away once more and begin to drop the sword, not fully taking away from trying to defend his people, but he is beginning to let up a little bit. Olma, you don't notice until they begin to push past you. A couple of the elves that you were guarding have gone and grabbed anything that they could. A couple of them have grabbed rakes. A couple of them have just grabbed some large walking sticks and attempt to push past you, moving over towards Farlane.
When do I notice? Do I notice in time to do anything?
You notice right. You don't notice them picking up this stuff, but you notice right as they're trying to break the group and pass you. And you see that there's 5 of them standing there, all with these makeshift weapons in their hands. And
so
one of them looks at you.
They've already passed me? Have they already passed me?
No, they're just coming out of the crowd, and you're sort of in between the crowd and where the rest of your party is.
Okay.
So they're trying to move past you.
Okay, so I'm gonna reach out my hand to grab whichever one's closest by the arm and say stop. And as I do that, if I make contact with their arm, the like energy of just like this whole situation is I've just been attacked by vines, and now there's all this stress, and I just need everyone to stay still and stop moving, and I release a shocking grasp on this person, this elf who's trying to pass me.
Okay. What is that going to be a check? Or is that an attack roll?
It's just a touch. Yeah, attack roll.
Okay, make that attack roll.
14.
14. So as you reach out, you make contact with his arm. You grab one of the elves, and as you make contact, he looks down at you and makes eye contact with you, and you can see up in his eyes, tears are streaming down from his face, and you release this shocking grasp on him. Make those damage rolls.
Uh, 7 points of lightning, I think. 1 second.
Ow.
It is 7 points of lightning damage. And the second I see that it's happened, I release his arm and I go, I'm sorry.
With a seizing motion, as all of his muscles tense up, he falls limp and he falls to the ground. You can see that blood is now dripping out of his ear as he hits the ground.
God.
And the 4 remaining elves that have these makeshift weapons look over and notice, and they turn their makeshift weapons on you. And Farlane looks over and he sees this his elven companion drop, and he pulls his sword back up towards the rest of the party.
I'm sorry. You guys have to listen. You have to stay back. It's too dangerous. You can't go.
DM, can I tell if Alothar is is he in stasis more or less, or are we on a ticking clock as far as his transformation?
You look, and his transformation hasn't progressed or regressed either way in the moments after you've taken the shard away.
I will turn at this change of events, and I'll say, "We'll take him. We'll take him to Addersfeld. Just let us do this. We'll take this burden. We'll take him to Addersfeld. The church there can do something to help him. It won't be your problem here. It'll be ours. And you'll never have to see us again."
Farlane looks over at his fallen companion, and he looks down at the sword at his hands, and he grips it a little more tightly, and under his breath he says, "I must protect my family." And he lunges at Flynn, making an attack. I'm going to have everyone roll initiative.
I don't trust this guy.
Shit.
I don't trust this guy.
Shraya, your friend sucks.
Betrayal.
I mean, you did just kill one of his friends, so I'll point that out.
Can we just say, did she kill him? Can't she choose not to kill him, or is that not?
Not to do lethal, yeah.
Not is that?
I don't know if Alma has enough control
magic
over her magic to really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
As a wild magic sorcerer, there's not a lot of control there.
All right. God damn, Alma.
Here we go.
Hey, I was scared.
Okay.
I don't do well under pressure, guys.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to roll for initiative for these guys.
All 30 of the guards and townsfolk.
I mean, not all of them. Probably.
They have
hopefully.
rakes, and
Yeah.
Yeah, you see they're not too well equipped. But yeah, they're still holding weapons.
cool. We just rescued, a couple of their folk from
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
question.
I'm curious if they're like kind of like on our side or not. We did just save them, so I wonder if I feel like if I were not Alothar, if I were
Farlane.
Ulira, if I were Ulira and I just like gave Ulira a dagger, and we saved his life.
We were
maybe.
homies for sure.
Yeah, I'm hoping
Yeah.
that they're on our side with this one. Yeah.
Okay.
At least in maybe not attacking us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't
maybe
need
they can
them
be
to-
the peacekeepers.
I don't need them to attack them. I just need them not to attack us.
Okay, can I get initiative from Kellic?
That is a 17 for me.
Okay, Olma,
18.
18. Flynn?
That is a 17 for Flynn.
Okay, Flynn and Kellic, who wants to go first?
Flynn, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah,
give it to you.
Well, he's attacking me, so that happens, and then I go. Is that what's going on?
Yes, he gets
Okay.
he gets the first
He gets
attack.
the surprise, and then
he
got
gets
you.
the drop on you. Yeah, so we're going to go through. It's just going to be him the first round as he
Sure.
sort of has taken you by surprise.
Yeah,
Shraya,
cool.
what's your initiative?
That's an 8 from me.
Okay, and March.
9.
Okay. All right. So, Farlane is going to get the drop on Flynn. Flynn, can you please let me know what your sword's damage is?
Yeah, it's a pretty freaking awesome sword. So it's so it does 1d6, but it's technically a +1. So I don't know what his bonuses would be for this, but it's 1d6 and it's a +1 short sword.
Okay, gotcha. I will take that into account. Thank you very much.
Because I have
Okay,
bonuses
so-
on my end.
So just to lay out the field as we are starting initiative, you've got a group of elves sort of in the northeastern corner of the
That's
temple.
a lot.
Most of them are don't seem to be taking any action at the moment. And then you have got Olma, who is currently surrounded by 4 elves with makeshift weapons. And then in the other corner, you have got Alothar, who is currently on the ground, still twitching, surrounded by the party, and Farlane holding his sword up to Flynn. So, the first thing that's going to happen is that Farlane is going to make his attack towards Flynn. So, Flynn, that is going to be a 13 to hit.
Doesn't hit.
Okay. He is not at all used to wielding weapons, so he just makes a quick jab at you. You're able to dodge out of the way, no problem at all.
Cool. Good.
And with that, we're at the top of the initiative. Olma, you are now surrounded by these 4 elves who see that their companion has fallen beside them.
So Alma looks to the fallen elf. Alma looks to the fallen elf and sees the blood dripping from his ear, and her face completely goes pale. And she already was covering her ears and repeating that she was sorry, and she just kind of drops to her knees and starts rocking back and forth. I'm sorry. And as she holds herself close, once again the spectral swords start swirling around her as she's just holding herself and rocking back and forth.
Okay, so you're casting that that spell?
Just a child meat grinder, just a blender of emotion, of prepubescent emotion.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you going to need from me? Is that a 5 foot
It's a
radius?
It's a 5 foot radius, and it's a dex saving throw.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Holy
I'm sorry.
Whew, that is 2 8s and a 7.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
In their quest, in Farlane's quest to save his town, everyone is going to get messed up.
Hey, I tried to protect everybody. It's okay. It's a 2.
It's
2 points.
a 2 points of damage.
2 points of damage. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they all take 2 points
So it's
of damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up in the order is going to be Flynn.
Oh boy. So yeah, I think Flynn kind of has a lot he's dealing with right now. He sees so I think what happens is he's like slowly processing this as it like seems to like slowly degrade. It's like that slow motion effect of like he looks over and he sees Alma like accidentally, it seems, kill a member, and then he turns back and sees that the members of starting to get angry, and he sees his friends around trying their best to help calm the situation, and Farlane, and then as soon as he turns to Farlane, Flynn's about to say, "We can fix," and then he sees the sword come down and he dodges it, and he's just like noticing that his first mission is just completely going to shit, and he's trying his best to save it, and he's gonna try and get the sword away from Farlane and try and grapple that away.
Okay, so you're going to make a grapple attack?
Yeah, he's not really good at strength, but maybe he can use his acrobatics to or sleight of hand to swip the disarm him or get the sword out of his grasp.
Okay. So I'm going to have you roll to hit on that before you make the athletics check.
Okay, so it's just an athletics?
Yeah.
Okay. That is a 9 total.
He got an 8.
Yeah! Can I, so I get the sword?
Yeah, so you're able to wrestle the sword out of his hands.
Oh man. He's gonna get the sword and hold it to Farlane's throat.
Okay.
And he's gonna scream out to the other elves. "We want to fix this! I'm trying!" And he looks back at the group. We'll take him to Addersfeld. Please. Let us fix this. And that's his turn.
Okay. At the end of your turn, make a persuasion check for me.
Okay. Persuasion. Oh boy. 8.
8. Okay.
Yep.
You look around. You can't get an immediate read, but your words have definitely been heard.
Yeah, that's
Next
my turn.
up is Kellic.
Can I? Or I feel like we've had this conversation already, but is it possible for me to cast Spare the Dying on this man that Alma took down just now? Is it within enough time that I might be able to keep him stabilized?
Remind me how much? Is it 2 minutes?
I don't know that there's a time limit on it. It's not a revival spell. It's if a creature has 0 hit points, I can stabilize it. With Spare the Dying. The creature becomes stable. Spell has no effect on undead or constructs.
Yeah, for sure. What's the range on that?
I can cast it at 30 feet.
Oh, nice.
At 30 feet. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll try and move in behind then or whoever's blue. That's Marge probably.
Yeah,
or,
so
or
you
how,
would just have to
close
move.
I need to. Yeah.
You would just have to move 15 feet right up towards where March is.
Right. So I'd do that and I'd be like, let's get us out of this mess, and I'll try and I'll channel the new energy I've become acquainted with through me wrapped up bandaged hand and say non-doom and try and just sustain this thing. Not yet, keeper.
Okay.
And with that, Which one? That's next to standing over by Flynn is what's
standing over by Flynn. Farlane is standing there
Gotcha.
alongside Shraya as well as Alothar.
So I will, because I can do that as a bonus action, spare the dying. So then, for my action, I will cast Toll the Dead on Farlane. So,
Okay.
so that is a Wisdom saving throw.
That's a 6.
Okay, he takes the damage. That is just 2 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
Luckily, this is the only time we're like, keep the damage low.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't nuke him.
Okay.
So I'm walking forward, keeping one guy stabilized, and then I'll turn and just blast Farlane with a little bit. Divine Might.
Just a little bit.
Just a smidge, just a taste of what I can do.
And Toll the Dead, is that a cantrip?
It is.
Okay, perfect. Just wanted to check in on that.
Yeah. Both
Okay.
the cantrips.
Next up in the initiative, Farlane, he no longer has the sword, so that sort of puts a dent in his plan.
Flynn has the sword like kind of up against his like neck, kind of like in a threatening position, like, let us do this, like, let us take care of this. But he rolled an 8 on Persuasion. So.
He, looking around and seeing the situation, he's still going to back up. Technically, he's within 5 feet of Flynn and Shraya, so you'd be able to take attacks of opportunity on him if you want to, but he is choosing to back away 10 feet.
Flynn won't, but he'll like let him back up, and as he backs up, he'll just kind of like let the sword come down and just keep it aimed at Farlane, but he won't take an attack.
Okay. Shraya?
So I'm going to whip out my quarterstaff with the geometric patterns and the crystal at the top. I'm going to whisper into it, elements of air, give me strength. Tap it to my forehead. Cantrip Shillelagh, the staff pulses and a glow emerges across the top of it. And I pin my eyes back toward that cloth, and I'm going to do I have enough facility to be able to kind of like the wing move I tried to do on Farlane? Is it possible to try to like whip my wing to blow the cloth off of that gold thing, the shard? Like, is that enough of an action?
Yeah,
to,
sure.
Like, is that not so much of an action that I can do it quickly with my wing?
So you basically want to remove the cloth from this gold shard?
Yes.
With your wing? Yeah, sure. I'll let you do that. That's you're able to kick up a gust of air, and the cloth moves away from the gold shard.
And how luminous is it?
It looks like it's gold.
It's not glowing. Okay.
Particularly.
My eyes.
No, it shines. It shines in the sunlight, but it does not glow.
Gotcha. Okay, that may affect how I. Well, I look at it closely. I have this weird burning desire, like starting to rush up through my body, and a desire to get closer to it and closer to it. And then at the moment where I think I want to reach out and grab it, instead I grip the quarterstaff with all my might and attempt to jab the very tip of the crystal into this gold shard.
Yeah. Good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Okay.
Oh, fuck.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, make an attack roll.
Alrighty.
Shadows be gone!
That is a 15 to hit.
Yeah, so you make contact with it. Roll your damage.
That is a 8 plus 4. And the when it's Shillelagh, the damage becomes Arcana. Oop.
Okay, good to know.
5 points of arcane damage.
Okay, as the arcane damage hits it, it barely just dents the gold. You can see now the shiny surface of it just has a little bit of a dent in it. Nothing structurally damaging, but you definitely put a dent in it.
Gotcha. Okay. That's my turn.
Okay. Next up is March.
Really quick, I can't remember his name. Was it Arlane? Or
Farlane?
No, the guy
Alothar.
that's like turning.
Yeah, Alothar.
Alothar. Did he react when Shraya hit the gold?
He did not. No.
Okay.
Okay, so March, you are up in the initiative. What would you like to do?
So I am going to, seeing that Shraya just did exactly what I was going to do, just with my fist, because I'm not fancy. I'm going to kind of just give a nod to Shraya, and understanding that we've got the same mindset that this thing needs to GTFO. And instinctually, now that I know somebody else has got a mindset of this, getting rid of this thing, I would like to use my movement to run up to be at least closer to Alma, if I can.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. You've got 2, 3.
Is that like the center of the temple? So I'm gonna have to like jump up and over something.
Yeah, you can just move around the center of the temple as you're moving to the other side. It's going to take 25 feet of your movement to get right up on Alma.
Okay. And I see that the one that's sort of above her, this elf, whatever, looks like.
Yeah.
Does that elf in particular have any weapons?
Yes, all of them have some sort of makeshift weapon.
Then I would like to punch him.
Okay,
I would just
make your attack
an
roll.
unarmed strike, because I've figured out that we are not trying to kill people. We're just trying to stop them. 21.
21 definitely hits. Yeah, roll your damage.
It's actually not any roll. It's just automatic 5 bludgeoning.
Jesus.
Okay. You run up to this elf and you just deck him. You feel his nose break under the force of your punch.
So sorry.
And as he falls to the ground, his head hits the stone behind him, and you can see a bit of blood coming out from behind his head.
Damn it.
Stop killing them!
That wasn't what I was. I specifically didn't throw a javelin or use my warhammer.
Can Caleb do that spare thing again?
When it's my turn,
I didn't mean to do that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go. Oops.
Almost still next to you, going, "I'm sorry."
I'm so literally tears are just streaming down my face as I'm
my
rocking
God.
back and forth holding myself.
Yeah,
God.
almost just like really, really upset. And March, I'm gonna basically just have the reaction of, shit, that wasn't what I meant to do, but everybody chill. Super sorry about your friend.
I can just imagine this like hulking figure just coming up and just knocking out this dude in one punch, just super menacingly, and just turning to be like, guys, chill.
Still, it's all good.
Basically
Everything is
what's
fine.
happening.
Okay. As you do that,
That's it.
is that the end of your turn? That's an action and movement, right?
Yeah. I'm just gonna, in an attempt to look somewhat menacing, have my hand just on my warhammer, and that's it.
Okay. Next up, I am grouping the makeshift weapon elves all as one turn on their initiative, just so you guys are aware of that. With March coming up and just decking this elf, they're going to move in towards her. They look absolutely terrified. But they're still going to move in, and they're going to move into position right here. And then you see a couple of other elves from the crowd, seeing that you guys have killed 2 of their friends, are going to run up from the crowd and attempt to join in.
We meant well.
And then this guy from up here is going to come down there. They do not have any makeshift weapons. They are just joining in from from seeing this. So, the ones with makeshift weapons are all going to attack March. March, that is going to be an 18 to hit.
Yeah, that's right there.
Okay, so one guy lunges forward and does 1 point of piercing damage as he lunges forward and hits you with this little rake made of some sticks and a little bit of metal. The next guy, that is going to be a 14 to hit.
Nope.
And a nat 1. So 2 of them come up and they miss. And then the other 3 that have joined in are going to attempt to do unarmed strikes. So that's going to be a 3. One guy swings and he misses wide. That's a 6. And that's another nat 1. These guys are not very well versed in combat. So these guys come up and they're just attempting to swing at you. And that is going to be their turn. Next up, top of the order is Olma.
Yeah, Olma's just devastated. There's nothing there. Can she see would she be able to tell if the spare the dying worked at all on, like, is he breathing again? Can she see that there's breath coming from the first one?
Yeah, make a medicine check.
9.
9, you can just barely see the chest rising and falling from the one that you shock and grasped.
Okay.
They're still very much unconscious, but seem to be stable.
So I'm on the ground pretty close to him, just kneeling. So I'm going to kind of crawl my way over to him and just start, like, shaking him to, like, make sure he wakes up. Just, like, just on his shoulder, just shaking him back and forth to get him, like, to wake up.
Okay. He remains unconscious. He does not come to consciousness.
Okay. I put his head on my lap.
Okay. Next up is Flynn.
If I did walk away from them to do that, I don't know if they want to try to attack me because I did that. So. Yeah,
they're gonna definitely. If
sure.
you walk.
The
walk
one you
away.
shocking grasp wasn't, like, right next to you.
I don't know how close he would have been.
Yeah, he would have been right next to you. Yeah.
So still within that 5 feet. Okay.
You still would have been within 5 feet. So
sure.
They don't get attacks of opportunity there.
Whew. That could have been bad.
I mean, it is what it is.
True.
They would have been within their rights.
yeah, that's fair.
All right. Flynn.
Does Flynn see Kalik casting spells to bring people back? Does he see what's going on in that chaos?
Yeah, he would definitely have a clear line of sight on what Kalik is doing.
Okay, so he's seeing that Kalik is helping bring back the people that are being injured. He sees Alma in regret, kind of like coddling this unconscious elf, kind of like trying to maybe bring it back to life. I think, oh man, this is tough. Flynn will just yell out to Farlane once more with his sword pointed out. He will grab out his shield and, like, hold it out in front. Farlane! End this! We're trying to help. Don't let all these innocent people die. Let us take this one and get him healed. And he's just looking at Farlane, trying to convince him.
Farlane looks.
End him. Call them off.
Farlane looks over to the 2 elves now laying motionless on the ground, and he looks back at you.
One is on my lap. One is pillowed on my lap.
Your lap. The other one. Head is bleeding out onto the stone of this temple. He looks back at you, and now tears forming in his eyes. He looks back and he says, I have no choice. And with that, Kalik, you are up in the initiative.
I will use my bonus action to cast Spare the Dying. Kill that guy. I'll Spare the Dying on the one that March knocked out.
Okay.
To whatever effect it can have. Not this one either. and I'll spare him. And then I'll turn, and I'll want to use my action to just address the crowd and say, "Can't you see what's upon you? You see the shadows closing in, and they're not just closing in on the light around you, they're closing in on the light of your souls. And now you take this man's life instead of giving us a chance to heal him. However you explain this man's illness, certainly allowing us to leave with him is better than watching your comrades and your kin fall upon our swords. If you see this man as your leader," and I'll point to Farlane, "certainly you can see the madness in his eyes, the desperation in him. Do not follow this madness to your own deaths." And that'll be my turn.
Okay. You see, immediately as you're saying that, you catch the attention of everyone in this temple, including your party, including the elves around you. As they all look to you, you can see the elves who have joined in on the fight and the elves with makeshift weapons look over to you, and you can see just the deep sorrow within them. And they look to you, and then they look to Farlane, and then they look back to you, seemingly to have stalled for the time being, looking for some sort of direction on what to happen next. Most of them who have come in to join on the attack have failed miserably, so they know that they are not any chance against you guys. So, seeing that, Farlane looks back at Flynn. And once again, he mutters, I don't have a choice. And Flynn, he's going to attempt to bull rush you and grapple you.
He's
Go
messed
for it.
up.
Runs up.
His head is messed up.
Full speed.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And as he
Go for
lunges
it.
forward, that is going to be a acrobatics check for you. You have to beat a 5. These are not combat elves. These are...
I do beat it. I rolled a 10 plus 6, so 16.
Okay. He runs up, and you're able to sort of take his momentum as he's running towards you and sort of redirect him and push him down onto the ground as he gets a face full of dirt. That is going to be his turn. Next up, Shraya.
Seeing that I only did a small dent in that gold and watching the chaos unfold around me, I am going to yell over to Farlane. I'm going to say,
Farlane! My old friend! Surely you can see reason. There's no need for there to be senseless violence and bloodshed in the midst of the encroaching darkness. Please tell your people to fall back.
and I yell that at him, and I turn my eyes back toward the gold, and I'm going to use Druidcraft to produce a flame over the gold, a persistent flame over the gold.
Okay. Does Druidcraft give you a damage?
No, it's just a simple flame, but
for Druidcraft?
On this turn, I'm just going to start
Gotcha.
it, and then I'm going to do other things later. But I'm just going to start the flame right now.
Okay. I will say, just for you, with a Druidcraft flame, I will let that do 1 point of fire damage every
Great.
turn, just as a constant. Yeah, because it's just a fire. It's not necessarily an attack.
Cool.
But yeah, I will allow that.
That will be my turn.
Perfect. Next up is March. March, you are surrounded by these elves, but you've seen that their attention has been taken for the moment by Kellic, and you can see their muscles that were tensed and ready to attack slowly start to relax. Not completely, they still have their weapons trained on you, but their attention is definitely on Kellic at this moment.
Okay. So with that, I am going to lower my weapon, my warhammer that I had sort of put up, because I'm in this sort of in between of, if these people piss me off anymore, I will kill them all. But I also understand that that's not really the goal here, but they are following a leader who just doesn't understand. I assume if I move, since their attentions are drawn elsewhere, if I attempt to make any movement, are they going to get an attack of opportunity on me?
They will have the chance to get an attack of opportunity on you. It is not guaranteed that they will take that, though.
Okay. I'm still sort of uncomfortable at the idea of just leaving Olma there, and I understand she's there trying to help the other guy. I am going to just sort of genuinely, honestly, just take one step forward and just shout a quick, everyone listen to what Kalik is saying. He's the only person in this camp right now that is making any form of sense. We're simply trying to help you. No one has to get hurt any more than has already been hurt. And I'm going to just sort of really just stand there. I don't want to attack anybody, but I want to be in an area that makes it so that if Farlane pulls any more shit, I am going to potentially... Can I hold an action at all?
You could definitely hold an action, yeah.
Then I'm gonna hold an action. Do I need to tell you what that action would be?
Yes, that would be preferred.
I'm gonna hold a javelin action.
Okay, towards Farlane, if I'm getting that correct? Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
But that's basically it. I'm just gonna try and take one step forward. I'm still close to Olma, but if he tries any more shit with Flynn, I might have to fuck some shit up.
Okay, sounds good. Next up on the initiative is the elves. They all look over and they see this wild and crazy attack by Farlane attempting to grapple Flynn. And they look back to Kalik and they see that on one hand, you have what used to be a leader, what used to be the one who unified them and brought them together, now being reduced to just a savage attack on this halfling. And then they look to Kalik and they look to Flynn and they look to you guys who are trying to take control of the situation, and they see leaders now, not this wild animal that they see in Farlane. And they all begin to relax and they all drop their weapons, sort of looking at each other in this moment of desperation, looking at each other and meeting each other's eyes and getting the sense of what are we doing here? What is the point of this? This was a peaceful commune. This was a place of peace. Shraya, you know this more than anyone in the party, that this was a place of peace for people to go to escape the war, to escape the troubles of the outside world. And this is what the paranoia has brought them to. And they drop their weapons and they all take a step back and they take a deep breath as you all exit initiative.
Could Flynn do something as a reaction to Farlane charging him?
For sure, yeah.
What did Farlane exactly say again when he charged?
He said that he had no choice. In reference to the fact that he has to protect his people.
Sure. When he charged me, I was imagining I had my shield out and you said he got a mouthful of dirt or something, so he probably gets pushed with the shield down onto the ground.
Yes.
And I would like to try and grapple him, but it's more for just RP. He pushes his shield up against Farlane, and after hearing him say he has no choice, he pins him down after the failed grapple, and he just pins him with his shield and just kind of looks at him. Can I, now that I'm really close up to him, can I just do an insight check to see if he seems like he's being himself, or does he seem different from how I first...
Make an insight check for me.
Okay. Really want this to be good. Yes. Okay. 19.
Okay. You look at him and you see there was paranoia when you first got to the camp. This paranoia has been just intensified by this narrative in his head that, there is good and there is evil in the world, and all the evil within this commune must be expelled at whatever cost. And you can see deep behind his eyes, this paranoia has just gotten to him and completely consumed him.
as he's pushing him with his shield down on the ground to kind of pin him. He'll just whisper to him, "You always have a choice. Fight it. Fight this." And he just is holding him down there. And that's kind of what he's focused on right now, just trying to help him through this, whatever he's going through.
Okay. He's completely exhausted. He is spent both physically and emotionally, and you can see the tears continuing to well up in his eyes, just at the humiliation that he's currently feeling. You guys look over, and as you guys can see, the group of elves sort of just standing there in shock of what's happened. Flynn holding down Farlane. You see one of the elves emerge from the crowd. And it's not very often that you see an old elf, as these elves, they live a very long time, and they look relatively young for most of it. But you can see that this is an old elf. You see that they are withered and that they have scars just from their travels. And you can see that this woman, she walks over to both of the fallen elves. Both of them now stable, still unconscious, but stable. One of them head resting on Olma's lap. And she kneels down and she puts her hands on both of the elves. And her hands glow with a golden light. You can see her fingertips glow golden, just as the leaves on the protection trees around you, their tips glow gold as well. Her fingertips glow gold as she touches them. And you can see a bigger breath begin to fill the chest of both of the elves. And you can see, Olma, especially you can see some of these, the wounds from these elves are beginning to heal over. You can see the mark of your hand from where you had shock and grasp begins to heal and recede back. And the elves don't come to consciousness, but they do take deeper breaths, and they are now stable. This old elf looks up to you, Olma, and she puts a hand on your shoulder, and she says, "It's okay. I forgive you, and I know Ilduria forgives you. It might be a little bit tougher for the rest of the elves here to do the same, but I know these people, and I know in time that they will. This was not your fault. They're okay now. They're fine. They will continue to live their lives just as they had before. And if you can go out, and if you can help us to eradicate these shadows and this darkness from this forest, you will be welcomed back as a hero. I guarantee you that." And all of you looking around, seeing these elves that just got caught in, whether it be paranoia or miscommunication, they all look to you. And you can see there is a willingness to forgive here. Seeing that the elves have been healed and that all is calm now, you see a willingness to forgive in their eyes. And March, Shraya, Flynn, and Olma, you guys feel a very similar warmth from within your chest that the trees produce. You feel that same divine glow fill your bodies. And you guys level up. You guys feel the energy from around you as Ilduria forgives what had just happened and sees past and sees the greater picture that's happening here and sees that you guys did not want to hurt anyone here, but she forgives you and she allows you to feel really, really good. You guys get all of your hit points back, and you guys get all of your spell slots back as you guys feel this divine energy. Kellic, you do not feel this divine glow. You, as you're looking around and you can see sort of what's transpired here, you see the two unconscious elves on the ground, and you see that this temple to Ilduria has just been desecrated. There have been 2 deaths on this ground, on this holy ground. And you hear a voice in the back of your head, a very familiar voice, a voice that's comforting to you. And he says, "You have all done good here. This was a place of my enemies. And you have done well." And as you hear that, you begin to feel a divine glow within you as you level up as well. And with that, we're going to end this session. That was intense. That was intense, to say the least. But yeah, that's where we're going to call it. I had a lot of fun with that one. I hope you guys did too. And we cannot wait to see you guys again next week. Bye.
Oh, man.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, this is Russ, and I play Flynn on Venture Forth. Thank you for listening. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at VentureForthDND for updates and previews of upcoming episodes. Also, check out our Patreon if you want to support us and get cool perks, like building a custom monster with the DM to throw at us. Thank you again for listening to this episode. I really do hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next adventure.